Ya la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la la, ya la la la. Ya la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la la, ya la la la. Ya la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la la, ya la la la. Ya la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la la, ya la la la. Ya la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת, נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת, נקבלה. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom u'mevorach. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom u'mevorach. הנה מה טוב ובנאים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ובנאים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ובנאים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody, and welcome. Good evening. It's raining outside. But my mother used to say, you're not made out of sugar, so you're not going to, you're not going to melt outside.
I think I would have liked your mother.
Yes. Welcome to our Mizmor Shir Shabbat with lots of extra music. And also this evening, we are marking Pride Month with creative readings and music during our service. We would like to welcome everyone to our celebration. I am Rabbi Javier Carapan, and I am joined by Leslie, Howard, Carmen, and our technical team in the back. Special thanks to our BOW committee for bringing us beyond our walls, and to our digital docents who are managing the streaming behind the scenes for all of you who are watching remotely. If you are technically inclined and would like to be part of that team, please let us know. We'll put you to work. If you're joining us on one of our virtual platforms, you will see information and links in the comments, and other information is in the e-news that you received this morning. If you're using a prayer book with two sets of numbers, not here, because you only have one set, or you have two sets?
They have two sets.
They have two sets. So we're using the numbers in the brackets.
Unless you have a giant book, and then you have one set.
Now, at home, make sure that you write down this number in case you get disconnected. It could happen because of the rain, the storms. It's 913-303-1134. That's our technical assistance line. Tal, which in Hebrew means do, but today's raining, so I don't know if we should change the number, but no, we're not. 913-303-1134, and text that number, and one of our docents will get back to you as soon as possible, and we'll help you reconnect. We're having special services even, and we have some special readings as well, and you can find that on your colorful handout. We have different colors, so there might be readings there. We begin together by offering a prayer before candle lighting, a blessing of gratitude for a life with friends, family, and partners of many genders and sexual orientations.
Creator of light, source of wisdom, you know the depth of the human soul. As you filled this world with the glance of your presence, so let me fill my world with the calm wisdom that love does not ask what, but instead asks whom. May we, as we watch the two flames of memory and practice enlighten this space, remember all parts of our stories and make space for all that we are. Creator of light, source of wisdom, may your light fill every inch of our bodies, and may it exceed all forms.
We continue on page 120.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Did you notice, Leslie? There were people singing with us.
Yes, it was so cool. I almost stopped. I'm like, wait, what is that noise?
We're not used to you people here anymore.
We're not alone anymore.
No one is alone. I would like to invite Emma Bowen to lead us in a reading. And we can have you right here. Nope.
The flying flag. the flag flying from the lamppost, fluttering in the Pacific breeze, I know that God made a covenant between us. If we lived our lives in black and white, we would never see the promise God made. To see all those colors together reminds me that God is here for you and me.
Thank you, Emma. We welcome Shabbat together as we join on page 140 to sing the opening lines of Psalm 92, Mizmor Shir. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות עלי עשור ועלי עוול עלי היגיון וכינור מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך ארנן. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. We continue together with Lecha Dodi is on page 138. We will be singing together all the odd, because we're very odd. So we're going to do 1, 5,
1, 3, 5, 7, 9.
7, 9.
Math
Thank
is
you.
hard, folks.
Yes. In Spanish, it's much easier. But in English, it gets complicated. Anyways. But just a reminder, everybody, do not sit down at the end because we're going through Bar Hu. So otherwise, you're going to go up and down. So just stay standing. לקראת לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה, לה 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 לה. לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה.
שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל עמך אדוני אחד, שמו אחד, לשם תפארת ולתהילה.
לה 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 לה. לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, ומצאי מתוך ההפכה, רב לך שבט בעמק הבכה, והוא יחמול עלייכם לה 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 לה. לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה.
Tore
la 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 lecha dodi לקראת קלה פני פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה איתנו תוסעיך ורחקו כל מבעלייך יסיס עלייך אלוהיך כמסוס חתן על כלה לה 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 לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה
בואי ושלום מתרת בעלה גם בשמחה
לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לה 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 לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה
Ya la 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 Ya la 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 la
Ya la 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 Ya la 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 Ya la 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 Ya la 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 la
Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach
Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach לעולם ועד המבורך לעולם ועד We'd like to invite Schaefer, where are you, to come lead us on the next reading. It is on your handouts, on the colorful handouts.
You have loved the people of Israel with a never-ending love. You have given us your Torah, laws, and statutes to guide us so that our lives may be filled with holiness and happiness. We know that we must find ways to strengthen our faith and hope in you. Your Torah acts as our inspiration. Help us, O God, to find ways to renew our commitments as Jews. Teach us to feel proud of all our identities. For you, Eternal One, made us as we are. We say, praised are you, source of all, who is the lover of the people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Shem Kevod Malchuto
And you shall love Adonai, your God, with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And all these words which I command you on this day shall be in your heart, shall be in your heart, that you may teach them diligently unto your children. And you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hands, and they shall be a symbol between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and upon your gates, upon your gates, that you may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God. Page 158.
Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nehedar b'kodesh, Torah tehilot osefele, Torah tehilot osefele. אהבתך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה לים. זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la.
Please join us on the handout as we join together in a prayer for safety. God, place me in a safe environment where I do not need to fear for my safety when I am with my significant other. Help create a world where I can hold their hand, be affectionate, and love my partner without hatred causing harm to my physical and emotional well-being. Keep me, my family, and my partner safe when our existence and love is tried by those who do not accept us on our lives.
Baruch atah Adonai הפורש סוכת שלום. שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל. ברוך אתה אדוני הפורש סוכת שלום. שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל.
ירושלים ועל כל עמו, ועל ירושלים שלום. ברוך אתה אדוני הפורש סוכת שלום. שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו, שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו, שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותיו, ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת שבת וינפש שבת, שבת וינפש שבת, שבת וינפש שבת, שבת וינפש. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 שפתי תפתח. Na 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 ופי יגיד, ופי יגיד תהילתך. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 שפתי תפתח. Na 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 ופי יגיד, ופי יגיד תהילתך. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 שפתי תפתח. Na 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 ופי יגיד, ופי יגיד תהילתך. The Amidah continues silently to page 180. like to invite Jonathan to lead us in prayer for gratitude, Modim. It's on your handouts.
In the days before Stonewall, many Jews were among those who felt the sting of homophobia and biphobia, who suffered from misunderstanding and rejection by family and the Jewish community. But you, Creator of us all, stood firm, reminding us what happened on the sixth day of creation. Vayivra Elohim et ha'adam b'tsalmo b'tsalem Elohim bara oto zechar unkiva bara otam. And God created the human in God's image. In the image of God was it created. Male and female God created. Male and female God created them. Genesis 1:27. Until man came to understand that you do not create in vain, do you create without intent. Until many of us came to understand that we too are part of your design, loved equally by you, the more we have learned, and understood, the more has pride returned to our spirit, and more our spirits have turned to you. We pray for the day when Kol Han Shema Tehale Yah, when all spirits, when every soul that breathes shall praise you. Psalm 156, and admire your diverse creations.
אלוהי נצור לשוני מרע, ושפתי מדבר מרמה. אבל אם קל אלי נפשי תדום, ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה. אלוהי, אלוהי, אלוהי נצור לשוני מרע, ושפתי מדבר מרמה. אבל אם קל אלי נפשי תדום, ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה. אלוהי, אלוהי, פתח אלוהי נצור לשוני מרע, ושפתי מדבר מרמה. אבל אם קל אלי נפשי תדום, כי נפשי לכל תהיה. אלוהי, אלוהי, יהיו לרצון אמרתי, בהגיון ליבי לפניך. Adonai, 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 Tzuri, Adonai, Tzuri, Ve'goali.
It is our tradition that we now offer a prayer for those in need of healing. If you're watching us remotely, you may access the Misheberach list through the e-news, and you can also find a link in the comments. We invite you to offer names by typing them in the comments so we can all see them. Please go ahead and begin typing. And for those of us in here, we have an opportunity to say names out loud or in our hearts as I go around the sanctuary.
Avotenu, vekol Avotenu, may the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
It is now time for our Simcha moment. If you are so moved to share a special Simcha, a joy from this past week, we invite you to type your Simcha in the comments line. It may include birthday, anniversary, good news, and accomplishments of all and any kind. Please just use a few words and don't forget to click enter. Now, for those of you in our sanctuary, we have our Simcha mic. It has an X there. You stand there and you say your piece and tell us who you are and what you're here, and we can all hear. This is one of our wonderful choir mics that picks everything. I mean everything. Just
Pretty
be
much.
careful. So if you would like to share Simcha, we invite you to come up here. We're just asking you not to congregate up here. So come up, you share Simcha, and you can go back to your seat.
I'll go while we're waiting for the next person to walk up. I'm Leslie Zucker, and I'm very thrilled to have my sister. Okay, technically by birth, she's Dave's sister, but I claim her. My sister and my sister's child are with us, and I am very pleased that we're having that family visit.
I went swimming for the first time in almost 2 years. And my name is Florence Zwiebelman.
I'm her support dog.
My name's Emma Bowen, and I went through National Youth Leadership Training a couple weeks ago.
My name is Zachary Zwiebelman. I have been working for the last 6 months at work to create a Pride network, and we have successfully hosted an event back in May called Ida Hobbit, and then we successfully hosted Pride Month this last month with events every week. And it was a huge success.
So this month, during the Simcha moment, we have been sharing different readings that come from one new book. It came out last year in the middle of the pandemic called Mishkan Ga'ava, means Sanctuary of Pride. And all the readings come from that book, collected throughout the years, some of them written specially for the book. So today, I'm going to share with you the last one for this season. We'll come back to this in a whole year, in next June. And this is entitled as one of our favorites. It's called Twilight People, a Prayer for Trans Jews. As the sun sinks and the colors of the day turn, we offer a blessing for the twilight. For twilight is neither day nor night, but in between. All of us are twilight people. We can never be fully labeled or defined. All of us have many identities and loves, many genders and none. All of us are in between roles and at the intersection of histories. All of us are crisscross paths of memory and destination, streaks of light swirled together. We are neither day nor night. We are both, neither, and all. May the sacred in-between of this evening suspend our certainties, soften our judgments, and widen our vision. May this in-between light illuminate our way to the God who transcends all categories and definitions. May the in-between people who have come to pray be lifted into this twilight. We cannot always be defined. We can always say a blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer dimdumim. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, who brings on the twilight. It was written by Rabbi Reuven Zellman in 2009.
You with the sad eyes, don't be discouraged, I realize it's hard to take courage in a world full of people. You can lose sight of it all. The darkness inside you can make you feel so small. Show me a smile then. Don't be unhappy. Can't remember when I last saw you laughing. This world makes you crazy, and you've taken all you can bear. Just call me up, 'cause I will always be there. I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors. That's why I love you. Don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors are beautiful. I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors. That's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors are beautiful.
We now gather all our simchas once you have shared with all of us, and we offer a prayer. Divine source of blessings, we thank you for everything that enriches our lives. We turn to you now with gratitude as we share the happiness of those who have marked their birthday, anniversaries, good news, and accomplishments. Adonai, be with them now and always. May they be blessed with the strength to overcome sickness and sorrow, with much health and happiness, now and always. As we honor each one of you for the gifts that you bring to our sacred community, together we join in song to mark this sacred occasion.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. How fair are your tents, O Jacob, your dwellings, O Israel. These words are familiar to most synagogue goers because many of us are used to hearing them as the opening prayer for our Shabbat morning tefillot. What many people do not know or may not remember is that these words were first uttered by a pagan seer. The person in question is Balaam, who, according to the story found in this week's Torah portion, Parashat Balak, I know it gets confusing, Balaam, Balak. So in this Torah portion, Balaam is asked by Balak, the king of Moab, to curse the Jewish people because they perceive them as a threat. And through a series of misunderstandings and divine interventions, instead of cursing the Jews, Balaam blesses the Jewish people. These verses were understood by our ancient rabbis, in particular the word mishkenotecha, your dwelling places, as meaning your synagogues. Like, how did they get there? Well, because the Hebrew word mishkan also means sanctuary. And it's in plural, so it must be your sanctuaries, therefore your synagogues. Never mind they were in the middle of the desert and they didn't have buildings or anything like that. That's just beside the point. That's the main reason why it is part of the services. But the rabbis went further and included 4 more verses from the book of Psalms. I, through your abundant love, enter your house. I bow down in awe at your holy temple. Adonai, I love your temple abode, the dwelling place of your glory. As for me, may my prayer come to you, Adonai, as a favorable time. Rabbi Sue Levi Elwell teaches, quote, the rabbis expand Balaam's blessing with 4 verses from Psalms written in the first person. In so doing, they enable each worshiper to claim a place as a member of the collective. I think it's a beautiful insight because at some level, we all like to be included. Being welcomed and included means that we are not alone in this world, but rather that we belong. The image is clear. The tent is inviting, a big tent under which we can all fit. Nowadays, many of us agree that the tent of Judaism is a big tent because inclusion and diversity are good for everyone. But that has not always been the case. About 30 years ago, when I was considering rabbinical schools, living in Argentina, I realized that I was not welcome everywhere. That the tent in those days was much smaller. It was clear to me that being out and open as a gay man was not an option except at 2 rabbinical seminaries in the world, the Reform Seminary and the Reconstructionist School. And even then, I chose not to be out during my interviews or even during my first year in Israel. I had heard that being gay or lesbian was a non-issue at the Hebrew Union College, but I still did not trust that it was safe. Just listen to my language. In those days, we only spoke about gay and lesbian rabbis. Synagogues, as well as our seminary, were willing to accept us, but there was no celebrating or embracing us. I mean, can't imagine wearing this jacket for services at the Hebrew Union College Chapel in 1994. I mean, it's not subtle, right? And I have Leslie to thank for my fashion advice for the month of June, and Target. I am happy to report that in my last job search, which brought me here, I did not sense any discrimination for being an openly gay rabbi. As a religious community, Jews have made significant progress in expanding the definition of who can claim to be part of the community and who cannot. The tent has been expanded, but it can always be bigger. That an NFL player coming out video is still a big deal, and it is a big deal, means that we as a society still have work to do. People still feel left out, lonely, and alone at many synagogues and Jewish institutions around the world. We should not be discouraged, though, by rulings of the U.S. Supreme Court or by the anti-trans legislation popping up, mostly at Republican-controlled state houses around our nation. They are an opportunity to continue to educate and advance the cause of equality. We are thankful to all our allies who continue to work to end oppression through support and advocacy. In all honesty, it is a learning process for us all. 3 years ago, when we held our very first Pride Shabbat here at Beth Torah, our congregation did not even own a rainbow flag. The shanda, I thought. I got over pretty quickly and bought our very first Pride flag with 5 colors. That was a step forward. But as the visibility of all the members of the non-hetero community continued to grow, I realized that gay, lesbian, and bisexual might not be inclusive enough. So this year we bought an LGBTQIA+ flag. It's right here, which stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, intersex, asexual, and agender, plus those who may also be members of the Black and brown communities. And I just want to be clear, there is no right or wrong. Don't get on your high horse as to what each of the letters stand for or how many colors or letters you can use or you know how to explain. The whole point of diversity and inclusion is that we do not try to put people in rigid labels and groupings. We are committed to being flexible, compassionate, and understanding towards everyone. Similarly, people should not be feel free to use their pronouns. But again, if you don't know what pronoun they use, just ask. It's okay. One is not born knowing everything. We are all in this together. The queer community cannot do this alone. We need each other. We learn from each other. We teach each other. We share with each other who we are and what makes us unique and valuable human beings. The challenge is to continue learning about how to be more inclusive, how to help others to be able to claim their rightful space in our Kehillah Kedosha, in our holy community, their place under the tent. Rabbi Elliot Dorff teaches that the additional verse in the Ma Tovu prayer are there to make us more at ease as we walk into a synagogue and to feel more welcome. He writes, "It is hard to enter a space where we meet other people, let alone where we meet God. Our opening prayer thus piles on synonyms of places of worship, tents, abodes, house, holy shrine, house of dwelling, to make us feel at home." Isn't being at home what we all long for? Houses of worship must make an extra effort to welcome LGBTQ individuals because for centuries, religious spaces were not welcoming places. So it is still a big deal when we openly celebrate Pride Month as we join in praise of our uniqueness. We all need to work together so that all of you and everyone else who might join us can feel at home in this Mishkan, in this sanctuary, in this ohel, in this big tent. Echoing the words of Balaam, the prophet Isaiah issued a challenge to the Jewish people personified in the city of Jerusalem. Archiv mekom oholech, v'riot mishkenotayich yatu al tachshochi. Enlarge the site of your tent, extend the size of your dwelling. Do not hold back. Rabbi Levi Elwell teaches, here the prophet urges Jerusalem, personified as a woman, to widen her tent with joy and make room for the multitudes who will enter the capital city. An expanded tent in a gracious and open city reflects the utopian and achievable goal of moving beyond oppositional concepts, end quote. The least we think in binary terms, the more inclusive we become. The least we think in categories of Jew and non-Jew, male, female, gay, straight, young, old, cisgender, transgender, the more we will be able to act in ways that feel welcoming to all, in ways that help others not feel excluded and alone, because no one is alone. As Rabbi Levi Elwell puts it, when our dwelling places become sanctuaries for all seekers of peace and justice, when our homes welcome all who no longer objectify the other, then we can truthfully declare, Ma tovu, how fair are your tents. And to that, together we say, Amen.
No one here to guide you. Now you're on your own. Only me beside you. Still you're not alone. No one is alone. Truly, no one is alone. Sometimes people leave you halfway through the wood. Others may deceive you. You decide what's good. You decide alone. But no one is alone. People make mistakes, fathers, mothers. People make mistakes, holding to their own, thinking they're alone. Honor their mistakes, everybody makes one another's terrible mistakes. Witches can be right, giants can be good. You decide what's right, you decide what's good. Just remember, someone is on your side, our side, someone else is not. While we're seeing our side, maybe we forgot they are not alone. No one is alone. Hard to see the light now. Just don't let it go. Things can turn out right now. We can make it so. Someone is on your side. No one is alone.
that song is both Jewish and queer.
Yes.
Absolutely. Stephen Sondheim. He's both.
He's always on my list for Pride Month musicians.
There you go. If you notice, actually, most of our musicians this evening have been members of the LGBTQ community, if you haven't noticed that. Many layers, right?
Many layers.
Thank you, Leslie and Carmen. We now move into the closing part of our service. If you're able to stand, we invite you to turn to page 586 for Aleinu L'Shabech.
Aleinu l'shabech
Ladon hakol, glatet gedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. You know, before we continue, I want to share how this prayer came to me the very first time. It's now in the Mishkan Ga'ava, but about 23 years ago or so, my husband and I, Chris, went on a trip to California. We went to San Francisco, and I was still a rabbinical student, so I called congregation Shar Zahav and got in contact with the treasurer, and he invited us over for Shabbat dinner, so we went. Now, this was the time, you know, there was really no internet to speak of. You couldn't really look up things, let alone, you know, stream anything. So in those days, if you wanted to see what an LGBTQ Jewish congregation looked like, you either have to go to New York or San Francisco. So we went, and this was the reading they did before the Kaddish, and they have been doing this for 40 years or so. And it really moved me. And then they were so nice that they actually let me take they had their own prayer book. Yoel Kahn was a rabbi in those days. He's now in Berkeley. And so Yoel gave me one, and we took it home with us. And I've used it many years until finally it was published last year. So here, so I had actually typed it from again, you know, we didn't have like scanner that had, you know, you have to kind of type everything. It's just a whole different world.
You had to type uphill both ways.
You have to type up things, yes, imagine that, yes. And then the printer always broke, you know, when you try to, it never failed.
That has not changed.
Well, it changed a little bit, but some things never change. So I want to share that with you, and I want to share with all of you this communal prayer of remembrance before we move into our moment of remembrance. It's on your handout. O wellspring of life, remember today those members of our family who were martyred in years because of their sexual or gender identity, those murdered by fanatics in the Middle Ages, those who perished in the Holocaust, and those struck down in our own city, in our own time. Remember also those who took their own lives, driven to despair by a world that hated them. And in mercy, remember those who lived lives of loneliness, repressing their true nature and refraining from sharing the love with one another. O God, watch over the souls of these beloved ones, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and help us bring an end to hate and oppression of every kind. As a congregation, we remember the following yortzites: Alan Baer, Harold Brookman, Sarah Dubbin, Jerome Fishman, Julia Gewurtz, Sam Gordon, Henry Herman, Harry Kirstein, Joanne Chambers Mackler, Eva Miller, I. Marshall Napshin, Joan K. Napshin, Dave Paris, Faye Pavlov, Sally Riker, Brenda Safer, Elise Al Sherman, Harriet Sherman, Rena Siegel, Ruth Tanzer, John Warady, Sue Grebner-Wary, Alan Martin Yedlin. Zichronam livracha, may the memories be for a blessing. We invite you on page 598 to join us in Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמה דברה חירותה וימליך מלכותה, בחייכון ובימיכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דא אמירם בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו
Would like to invite Aviva Simons, Director of Member Engagement of our congregation, for some announcements. Aviva? This is all in person now. You can meet Aviva in person, no longer on Zoom.
She's got legs. Yeah. Just in case you didn't know.
Shabbat Shalom. It is so wonderful to all be here together, and I do not remember the last time I smiled this big for so long. So thank you all very much. Toda Rabbah, thank you to tonight's worship team, Rabbi Katapan, Leslie Zucker, Carmen Deeker, and Howard Pittler, and our technical team in the back, Dave Zucker and David Thal. Join us for virtual Sichat Shabbat, our Shabbat conversation, tomorrow morning at 9:00 a.m. on Zoom. The Zoom link can be found in this week's e-news. Following Sichat Shabbat, join us at 10:30 a.m. for our Shabbat morning service, when Noah and Sam Besnofsky will become B'nai Mitzvah. All are welcome to join us physically at Beth Torah and virtually via our streaming platforms. Mazel tov to the Besnofskys. Rising second and third graders and their families, Rabbi Kleinman will be at Meadowbrook Park this Sunday, June 27th, from 10 o'clock until 11:30 in the morning. Join her to meet new friends and learn about the Weiner Religious School's 5782 school year. And if you have questions, Rabbi Monica will be at the Oneg. During the week of Tu B'Av, the Israeli equivalent of Valentine's Day, we will be giving love and giving blood. The Community Blood Center of Greater Kansas City is experiencing a blood emergency. On Wednesday, July 21st, we will be spreading some love and some blood at Congregation Beth Torah to alleviate this need. For additional information about this blood drive, please contact Sharon Altman, who is also here and would be glad to talk during Oneg. 2 opportunities for involvement. First, to celebrate Rabbi Katapan's 5-year anniversary at Congregation Beth Torah, we are compiling a book of memories and stories from our time together so far, along with words of appreciation. The link to submit memories and stories for the book can be found in the e-news. Second, the Beyond Our Walls Committee, or BOW for short, is looking to expand our team of digital docents who enable us to be multi-access here at Beth Torah. I made this joke last week, so bear with me if this is sounding a little bit familiar. You can volunteer at CBT, 1, from home, and 2, in your pajamas. Isn't that a dream come true? Get it? Thank you. Howard, you always got my back. From Pittsburgh to Kansas City. For additional information about digital docenting or more unbelievable puns like that, please ask Dave Zucker in the back or myself. And lastly, join us in the Ulam following our closing song for a very special rainbow neg, a rainbow oneg. Toda Rabba, thank you to our sponsors, Lloyd and Judy Hellman, in honor of their 66th wedding anniversary tomorrow, June 26th, and Zach Zwiebelman, in honor of starting the Honeywell Pride Network, like he mentioned. Lloyd and Judy are joining us from home based on the weather, so thank you, Lloyd and Judy, and happy anniversary. And Shabbat Shalom, happy Pride.
Thank you, Aviva. We invite you to join us singing the song that was first sung at the memorial for Harvey Milk. Many years ago.
It's written for that.
It was written for that. And it's become part of a Pride celebration around the country. If you're able to stand, join us. I think you sound much better when you're standing. We are gently hungry people, and we are singing for our lives.
What does that mean?
We are gentle, angry people, and we are singing for our lives.
We are justice-seeking people.
We are justice-seeking people, and we are singing for our lives. We are justice-seeking people, and we are singing for our lives.
We are all in this together.
We are all in this together, and we are singing for our lives. We are in all of this together, and we are singing for our lives.
We are a gentle, loving people.
We are a gentle, loving people, and we are singing for our lives. We are a gentle, loving people, and we are singing for Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Happy Pride.
Take care of each other out there.